welcome to another broadcast of In the Locker Room. Now here's your host, Kenny Smith.
Welcome to In the Locker Room Sports Talk here in Flowery Branch, Georgia, home of the Atlanta Falcons training camp facility, which is literally right down the road from me. So it's great seeing that about every other day. So this is our first YouTube video, but it's officially our third podcast. So I just wanted to give you guys just as many options as you can. Whether you want to see my pretty face, or whether you just want to listen, or whether you want both. That's completely up to you. I mean, I don't mind. I just wanted to give you guys as many options as possible, so that way you can catch the podcast at your convenience. So anyway, guys, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about what's happening in baseball, and then we'll briefly talk about some NFL stuff. But first, let's talk about a couple of NFL things. Former offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan, oh Lord, he got a contract extension through 2025. He is now the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, and as much as I hate to say it, I think it's well deserved. Just don't blow any more leads. That's way too familiar. Las Vegas will host the Pro Bowl in 2021 with their new stadium, Allegiant Stadium. I don't necessarily watch it, but I might watch a little bit of it, or maybe most of it, just to see the new stadium. It's supposed to be a new stadium, and it's right outside Las Vegas. So I'm like, hey, if it's Las Vegas, it's probably going to be a nice stadium. So I'm like, okay, I might actually watch it. Normally I don't like to watch it. At times it's kind of boring, but this year I may actually watch it. So I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try, at least just to see the stadium. Just like the first time that, I went to go watch the Atlanta Braves. I just wanted to see the stadium. I love the game, but, I just want to see the stadium. So anyway, so let's move on to baseball. There's a lot of kind of negativity going on in baseball to where, they can't really decide what they want to do. And it's just going back and forth, and it's getting ridiculous. And I'm just getting very frustrated. I'm sure as many of you are with the commissioner of baseball. But here was a quote from a player on Twitter the other night. It says, "The fans are ready to watch us play. The world is ready to watch us play. The coaches are ready to coach. The players are ready to play, and I'm ready to play. Put a time and a place, and we will be there." That is the stupidest thing I have ever heard in my life. All these players are saying, tell us when, tell us where. But yet, you won't agree with the owners. You won't compromise. With you guys saying that, I think that you guys are almost as guilty as the owners. Regardless, people are losing money. The players are going to lose money. The owners are going to lose money. There's probably not going to be, if anybody, in the stadium. So I'm like, you know what, guys? Just figure something out just for the fans. Sports is supposed to be for the fans. Baseball is supposed to be America's pastime. I'm like, come on, man. I just want to see baseball. It's just getting very, very ridiculous. So I'm like, just don't say it. Just don't say when and where anymore. I can't tell you how many times I saw, please don't, just say when and where. Just say when and where. I'm like, I just want baseball. You guys need to figure it out. There's a lot of negativity going on these days, and we just need some positive news. Whether it's 50 games, I don't care. Whether it's 70 games, just figure something out. Just do it for us. you know, take a pay cut, take, you know, you know, you know but everybody's going to be losing some money. So, I mean, just figure something out. I think that we all would love to see baseball, especially those who are Braves fans. And heck, I just want to see live sports. Golf, just on just a few days ago. And, and NASCAR has been on. I'm not a huge fan of NASCAR. I don't mind, I like watching golf, but it's just not the same. I want to watch baseball. So let's just figure something out before I just lose my mind. Unlike like every other person on Twitter last night. So let's do something a little more lighthearted, just a little more just kind of fun. You remember when Michael Jordan went to the Washington Wizards? I thought I was going to go crazy. I'm like, Michael Jordan has always been with the Chicago Bulls. He is a Bull for life. Then he retired. Then he played baseball, which that was a cute little experiment. And then he decided to come back and play for the Washington Wizards. Really? That is ridiculous. Yes, Michael Jordan is arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. I cannot dispute that. But seeing him in a Washington Wizards jersey, they were terrible. Yes, they gave Michael Jordan a platform to play, and okay, I get it, but just seeing him in a different jersey just wasn't the same. Kind of like Tom Glavine, a Braves legend. Braves legend. He moves on to the New York Mets. I'm like, that is for a long time, and I'm sure even now, they are the Braves' nemesis. Them and the Washington Nationals. I mean, the New York Mets. I mean, that's almost like a slap in the face to me. I'm like, you are an Atlanta Braves legend. I mean, you are a superstar in Atlanta. I mean, you could probably do about whatever you wanted to in Atlanta. But then you chose to go to New York. It's like, it was just weird seeing him in a Mets jersey. Anyway, another example of a drastic jersey team change. Emmitt Smith went from one of the greatest running backs in history, playing for the Dallas Cowboys with Troy Aikman. Then he decides, hey, I'm going to go play for the Arizona Cardinals in 03 and 04. I'm like, I didn't really understand why. I'm like, I guess a lot of players just are after the money. I don't know. I mean, but it was just weird seeing him in that red and white as opposed to seeing him in America's team, the Dallas Star, Arizona. Okay. But probably the one that I don't get the most is Tom Brady. There have been pictures out of him in his new Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey. Yes, Tom Brady is arguably the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I can't argue with that. But I figured he would start his career in New England and he would retire in New England along with Bill Belichick. I mean, I did not think that those two would ever leave each other. I think that they would just retire and just walk off in the sunset and everything would be great. But I guess money talks to the tune of $30 million and no sales tax to go play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of potential there. And granted, he is one of the greatest of all time, but just seeing him in that Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey, go look for a picture of it. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. I looked at it for 10 seconds. I'm like, I can't look at this anymore. I am used to looking him in a New England Patriots jersey, even when he came back from 28-3 in the Super Bowl against the Falcons. So, but speaking of Tom Brady, I have a list of the top 10 quarterbacks right now. The top 10 quarterbacks playing right now. They are the best right now. Not in the history of the NFL, just in the NFL right now. So starting with number 10, Ben Roethlisberger. Number 9, Tom Brady. Surprising. 8, Carson Wentz, Matthew Stafford, Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, and last but not least, Patrick Mahomes. And there were a couple that were left off. Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, and our own Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, clearly I think the top 3 are probably close to being right. But Brady being towards the bottom, I don't know. He's great. I mean, until he proves me wrong, until he proves me that he can't do it anymore, I don't know. So what are your thoughts? Just let me know just in the comments or just whatever you guys think. Just let me know. Because I posted this on social media and I just want to see just what you guys think. It's a very interesting list. But I'm going to give you my top 5. I'm not going to give you a top 10 because that would take probably all night. So we're just going to go with the top 5. Number 5, Tom Brady. Yes, he's 42 years old. Yes, he's going to a new team. But he's won the Super Bowl 6 times. He's been in 41 playoff games. But they've all been under Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Can he do it with a new team? Can he do it with Bruce Arians, the head coach? Can he do it with a new cast? He hasn't had the opportunity to be able to throw the ball down the field very much, especially with the set of wide receivers that the Patriots had, which the past year or two really wasn't a whole lot. I mean, you're just throwing slants. That's all you're doing. Again, I don't know if he could throw it down the field. Ever since Gronk retired, he really hasn't thrown the ball down the field very much. So I'm like, we'll see. My number 4 is Drew Brees. Yes, he plays in the same division as our beloved Atlanta Falcons. And the Falcons and the Saints, whenever they play each other, it's a barn burner. But Drew Brees can still do it. Even now. He's been playing for a long time, and he can still do it. For example, his completion percentage the past 3 years. Yes, I'm a little bit of a stats nerd. So bear with me. The past 3 years, completion percentage, 72%, 74%, and 74%. That blew my mind. So you're completing about 6 or 7 out of 10 passes. 7.5 at best. For somebody to do that in the NFL, I mean, he is Mr. Consistency. He is so accurate. If I want to build a quarterback, if some of these younger guys weren't in here, I'd probably build a team around him. Great leader. Knows how to play the quarterback position. So, speaking of the quarterback position, my number 3 is a little surprising. And I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson. He's been playing for Baltimore Ravens the past 2 years, I believe. 2018, he came in basically like halfway through the season. And he led them to the playoffs. I think he was 6-1 going into the playoffs. But 2019 is when he went absolutely ballistic. He lost his mind. He made people look crazy. He was breaking ankles just like Allen Iverson would back in the day. Get this. In 2019, 3,127 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, 1,206 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns. He was 13-2 as the full-time starter in Baltimore. And now, just released for those gamers, he is the Madden 21 cover. I hope that the Madden curse doesn't hit him. It hasn't hit the past few players, but I hope it doesn't start back with him because he's a phenomenal player. He's almost like Michael Vick on steroids. I mean, this guy can run, but he's also a great passer. He knows what he's doing. Number 2 is not a surprise to me. I've been a fan of this guy for a long time. Russell Wilson. He just has it. He just has it. He is a comeback machine. You are never out of a game with Russell Wilson in as quarterback. 2017, almost 4,000 yards passing with 34 touchdowns and almost 600 rushing yards. 18, 3,500 passing yards, 35 touchdowns. In this past year, over 4,000 passing yards, 31 touchdowns. And in 17, he went 9-7. 18, 10-6. 19, 11-5. He's getting better. He is like wine. He is getting better with age. That's why I think he is still one of the best quarterbacks right now. He's still in his prime. He can do it all. With a terrible offensive line, with almost a non-existent running game, Russell Wilson runs for his life all the time. I don't know how he gets out of the predicaments that he gets himself in. He runs around, he runs in circles, he runs up to the line of scrimmage, runs back. I'm like, I don't see how he does it. I mean, it's amazing what this guy can do. But you are never, ever out of the game with this guy. I wouldn't mind having this guy on my team. He just high character guy. Again, kind of like Breeze. He knows how to play the position. He knows what he's doing. I mean, his completion percentage is in the mid-60s. For a guy who runs a little bit, who throws off balance, who throws at almost impossible angles. Speaking of that, my number one, and this is without saying, the Super Bowl champion, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, what can I say about him? In his first year, threw for over 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He was the MVP of that year. They went 12-4 in his first year. To be honest, I actually had my doubts when he came out of college. I thought that he was just one of those gunslingers that would just throw it just all over the yard against weak defenses. I honestly, I had my doubts, to be honest. I was like, he's going to the Chiefs. I was like, okay, he may do okay. But he exceeded my expectations. Former baseball player, has an unbelievable arm. Can throw it from almost any angle. Throws it sidearm, throws it sideways, throws it almost underhanded. Any way that this guy can get the ball out of his hands, he does it. I'm like, seriously? 2019. He only played 14 games because he was injured. I think it was a knee injury. And we thought that it was the end of the season. And everybody was like, are they going to make it to the playoffs? Or, are they going to make it to the Super Bowl? But with this guy, especially after the season he had, high expectations. High. And I'm like, I would too if I just threw for over 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns in my first year and won the MVP. In only 14 games, he threw for over 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions. And guess what? He won the Super Bowl. He came back. This guy blew my mind. Again, you talking about a guy that you're very similar to the traits of Russell Wilson and Drew Brees. He just knows how to play the quarterback position. Natural leader. Superb arm talent. The sky is literally the limit for this guy. This guy. And I'm like, I hope he continues to prove me wrong. Because with the weapons that he has around him and the coach who loves to call creative plays, and the sky is the limit for this guy. I'm like, okay. So, just tell me what your top 5 are. I'd like to know. Just hit me up in one of my social platforms and let's talk. I'm a reasonable guy. I like to have some conversations. So just hit me up. Let's have some conversation. So the first few podcasts I had, we took a few moments just to kind of just take an old school to kind of look back, like on this day. So today in 1960, Ted Williams hit home run number 500. The first player to end the season batting 400. One of the greatest players, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. That's a guy I wish I would have been able to see. A natural hitter. And to hit 500 home runs plus. Second of all, in 1962, long before my time, Jack Nicklaus wins his first major by 3 strokes in an epic 18-hole playoff with Arnold Palmer. Now, those two guys in and of themselves are legends. I mean, you talking about being in the gallery for that? I would have paid any type of money just to watch that. Just to watch those two legends go at it. But for Jack Nicklaus to win his first major all the way back in 1962. Wow, 1962, that's a long time ago. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to give a shout out to a few people. Yeah, they helped me get this podcast and this YouTube channel going. For those who are watching. Jessica Smith, my wife. Kelly Ginn. Tyler Ann Smith. Just helping me just get this video together with the name and just everything that kind of went into creating this whole thing. I just want to say a personal thank you. This is a first of many YouTube videos to come on this channel. And if it wasn't for them, I would not have been able to do this. So I appreciate you guys very much. And my dad, David Smith, for the wonderful voiceover you heard at the very beginning. If you want to just listen to it, just go up there and just listen to it again. A former DJ back in the day, so it's just very natural for him. I would not have had that any other way. Unbelievable job. Thank you very much, Dad.